Dark Myth WuKong Chapter 25 Red Lotus Fire Body Formed. This trip to the Heavenly Palace placed another burden on Sun Wukong's shoulders, finding the remaining 3 pieces of the 5-colored divine stone, searching for the white dragon horse and old Shah. Additionally, he had to figure out how to rescue the demon leaders imprisoned in the Heavenly Palace. Finally, he also needed to visit Patriarch Body and Zen Yuanzi at the Wushuang Guan. After all, they were injured because of him. With Sun Wukong's current strength, as long as he didn't encounter numerous Buddhas setting up an array to trap him, he had nothing to fear. Previously, because he still had his monkey descendants on Flower Fruit Mountain, he was always cautious. This time, without worries about the future, what was there to fear? Next was waiting for Bajie's new body. In the blink of an eye, 40 days passed. During this time, the entire heavenly court was in turmoil, with nearly 60% of its forces descending to the mortal realm to search for Sun Wukong's whereabouts. This showed just how much Tathagata hated Sun Wukong to the bone. Logically, having just acquired the heavenly court's territory, the priority should be consolidating forces and familiarizing themselves with the heavenly court environment. But Tathagata did none of that. As soon as he occupied the heavenly court, he immediately dispatched troops to the mortal realm to search for Sun Wukong. During these 40 days, Sun Wukong killed a total of 7 waves of Buddhist soldiers sent to scout. A wave came every 7 days, letting Sun Wukong know he couldn't stay here much longer. There were only 7 days left until Bajie's body refinement process concluded. No matter what, Sun Wukong couldn't let Zhu Bajie be affected in the slightest during these 7 days, or the consequences would be dire. On the 43rd day, another wave of scouting Buddhist soldiers was killed by Sun Wukong. Among them were even several top-tier Buddhists. Moreover, it seemed many unfamiliar faces had recently appeared within the Buddhist sect. According to these descended Buddhist soldiers, a Brightness Freedom Buddha had appeared in the heavenly court at some unknown time. Furthermore, judging by his power, he seemed much higher than Tathagata. Tathagata, in front of him, acted more like a subordinate. This greatly puzzled Sun Wukong. Since when did the Buddhist sect have such a powerful expert? His strength might even be higher than his own. Could it be a hidden powerhouse of Buddhism? How deep was the Buddhist sect's foundation? One must know that when Tathagata was still Duobao Daoren of the Koi sect, he only had the cultivation of a golden immortal. But after Laozi converted the barbarians to Buddhism, his cultivation soared at an unimaginable speed, eventually allowing him to attain enlightenment and become a saint-like existence in Buddhism. Such cultivation speed, let alone in Buddhism, was terrifying even in the entire immortal realm. Perhaps the Buddhist sect's foundation was not as simple as he imagined. It seemed his future actions must be extremely cautious. He couldn't underestimate Buddhism just because his own strength had greatly increased. No more overthinking, it was useless anyway. Sun Wukong turned and walked towards Tang Sansung's stone chamber. 3 days left, and everything would be clear. Whether it was soul-scattering or a great increase in strength, it all depended on these 3 days. However, based on Sun Wukong's observation, the latter possibility was clearly much greater. This was the contribution of that osmanthus branch. How great was the great god Pangu? Just an eyelash transformed into a branch brought endless benefits to Zhu Bajie. Thinking of this, Sun Wukong's heart couldn't help but burn. Pangu's eyelash already had such power, so how immense would the power of the 5-colored divine stones left by goddess Nuwa, who was almost contemporary with Pangu, be? If he could really find the remaining 3 pieces and successfully fuse them into his body, to what level would his strength soar? Even if he couldn't compare to some ancient great gods, it would likely be quite terrifying. At that time, what revenge couldn't be taken? Just the Buddhist sect. Why worry about not being able to destroy it? At this moment, Sun Wukong's heart had never been so eager. eager to find the divine stones, eager to enhance his own strength. But no matter how urgent, he had to wait 3 more days for Bajie. 3 days later would be the time to set out. Everything would eventually come to an end. Thinking of these things, Sun Wukong entered Tang Sansang's stone chamber. He saw that the giant flaming egg from before had now solidified into a crystal-like form. It was impossible to see inside from the outside. But Sun Wukong didn't dare use his fiery eyes of truth to force a look, fearing he would disturb Tang Sanzang. So, Sun Wukong had to sit cross-legged not far away, quietly waiting for the day of Zhu Bajie's rebirth. Perhaps Sun Wukong himself hadn't noticed, but since waking up from his injuries after this great battle, a certain change had quietly occurred in him. The impulsiveness and superficiality of the past were gradually disappearing, replaced by a steady, cautious temperament that was slowly forming. However, the original dominance and arrogance hadn't diminished in the slightest, and seemed even stronger than before. A Sun Wukong who was steady, knew how to think and plan, yet was full of dominance and battle frenzy, was taking shape. Contradictory, yet perfectly natural. Finally, the 49th day arrived. But what arrived wasn't just the end of Zhu Bajie's body refinement, but also heaven and earth-covering Buddhist soldiers. Sun Wukong didn't know how Tathagata discovered his whereabouts because although many Buddhist soldiers came to scout, he was absolutely confident that they couldn't possibly leak information before dying, not even sending a distress signal. All of them died in an instant without realizing it. Perhaps they didn't even know how they died. Although Sun Wukong couldn't figure it out, what was meant to come still came, right at the final stage when Zhu Bajie was about to succeed. Looking at the sky full of Buddhist soldiers and Buddhas, Sun Wukong felt no fear. After using the Chaos Sky Silk to set up a defensive circle for Tang Sansang, Sun Wukong slowly rose into the air. Seeing Sun Wukong facing tens of thousands of Buddhist soldiers without a trace of fear, Tathagata frowned deeply.
Sun Wukong, didn't expect this, did you? Even though you hid very carefully, I still found you. Sun Wukong, today is your death day.
Old fart Tathagata, I didn't expect you could find this place. I guess you have some skills. But I don't know how you found me. I killed all the scouting Buddhist soldiers. It's impossible for them to have returned to report.
All Sun Wukong could do now was try to delay time, preferably until Zhu Bajie successfully formed his body, so he could only exchange nonsense with Tathagata.
Sun Wukong, you always think you're clever. Thought killing my scouts would keep you safe. How incredibly foolish. The day you escaped the heavenly court, I immediately sent 1,000,000 Buddhist soldiers to the mortal realm to track you down. Within a month, scouts in other areas reported back safely, with losses not exceeding 30%. Only at this spider web cave, no matter how many Buddhist soldiers were sent, all went silent. Your cleverness in killing the scouts turned out to be the biggest exposure of your location. Just a mere demon monkey, today is the day you pay for your crimes and die.
Hearing this, Sun Wukong understood. Tathagata's Buddhist soldiers were like a net, and only the area around the spiderweb cave had a large hole. It was obvious that an extremely powerful demon king must exist here. But among the famous demon kings in the world, besides the dead or injured, all had become mounts in the heavenly court. So it was self-evident who the demon king in the spiderweb cave was.
So what if you found me? Just these 1,000,000 Buddhist soldiers, can they trouble me?
As he finished speaking, Sun Wukong's aura surged, a domineering presence declaring, "In heaven and earth, I alone am supreme," swept out. Many Buddhist soldiers with lower strength turned pale on the spot, spitting blood. Sun Wukong had severely injured numerous Buddhist soldiers with just his aura alone.
Demon monkey, don't be arrogant. Don't think no one in this world can handle you. Buddhist disciples, hear my command. Form the 10,000 Buddhas exhausting God grand array. Don't let the demon monkey escape.
After saying this, Tathagata immediately turned around and spoke very respectfully to the Buddha behind him.
Lord Freedom Buddha, next, I request you to take action and subdue this demon monkey.
Just a mere demon monkey requires such a fuss. It seems you all are becoming increasingly useless.
After speaking, ignoring Tathagata's ugly expression, the figure waved his sleeve, and a golden lotus platform flew out, expanding in the wind. Then this brightness freedom Buddha stood on the lotus platform. In the next moment, the lotus platform appeared right in front of Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong had initially felt some contempt for Tathagata and his group, but when the Buddha, stepping on the lotus platform, appeared before him, Sun Wukong's heart couldn't help but skip a beat. What terrifying speed was this? He hadn't even noticed it. It was likely faster than his own somersault cloud after merging with Neja's windfire wheels by 30%. If this person's speed alone was so frightening, how powerful must his strength be? The initial contempt vanished completely, replaced by the tension and gravity of facing a great enemy. Sun Wukong knew that a great battle was coming next. A single mistake could mean his death here. The strength of the Buddha before him surpassed his imagination. But even so, there wasn't the slightest fear in Sun Wukong's heart. Fighting, Sun Wukong had never been afraid. No matter how powerful the opponent, Sun Wukong's heart would not have a trace of fear. All he felt was excitement, the thrill and exhilaration of challenging a high mountain.
You are Sun Wukong, the Sun Wukong who caused chaos in the Buddhist sect?
Before asking someone else's name, shouldn't you introduce yourself first?
Haha, interesting. How many years has it been since someone dared speak to me like this? Since you want to know, I'll tell you. I am the brightness freedom Buddha. As for strength, above saint level, I came down this time to kill you. Don't even think about escaping or resisting. Although your strength is considerable, it's only at the mid-rank saint level. You can't beat me.